So today we are going to conduct one small grooming session for you people. Might be this grooming session will help you for tomorrow's interview. Let me go to the OOPS first. So in OOPS, what are the concepts will come, sir? So first you understand what are the concepts will come in OOPS. But first don't learn the definitions. Don't learn the coding part. For example, we have a class. Then we have a what here? Object. Then we have a abstraction, we have a encapsulation, even we have polymorphism, even we have inheritance. Yes or no, tell me. These are the topics are there in OOPS concept. Along with this, it is having constructors also. Constructors are available. Even it is having packages. Okay. Even it is having inner classes. Even it is having wrapper classes. Enum. Okay. Enum is available. Even string, string buffer, string builder, and string tokenizer. These are the topics will be there in the OOPS concept. So first you need to learn that only, sir. What are the topics are present in OOPS? These are the topics are there. And we need to prepare accordingly, sir. For example, when we are working with class, so first we need to learn what is class. Okay, na? Then we need to learn about final class. We need to learn abstract class. And even one more thing, sir. In OOPS, I did not mention interface and abstract class. Mention that also. Class means we have a normal class. Nothing but we have a default class. We have a public class. Then we have a final class, abstract class. Even we have a what here? Singleton class. Then when it is comes to object, in object we need to learn what is object, types of objects, and even you need to learn what is hash code in Java. Hash code in Java. Similarly, when it is comes to abstraction, we need to see what is abstraction. Okay, with one example. You need to give with one example, you need to explain, sir. Similarly, we need to comes to encapsulation. So we need to explain what is encapsulation with example. Okay. And here you need to explain Pojo class versus Java Bean class. Then we need to go to polymorphism. Here you need to explain method overloading, method overriding. Okay. Even what is polymorphism, morphism. Like this you need to touch. Then we need to go to inheritance. Inheritance means what is inheritance and types of inheritance you need to explain. And then we have a constructor. So here we need to learn what is constructor and what is default constructor. Then we have an interface. So you need to learn what is interface, what is marker interface, what is functional interface. Okay now? And then you need to learn what is abstract class. What is abstract class? Okay. We need to learn with one example. Then we need to learn packages. What is API? What is package? Types of packages. Then we need to learn inner classes, wrapper classes, enum, string, string buffer, string builder, string tokenizer. These are the topics you need to cover one by one. This is called preparation, sir. So tell me, sir, if anyone asking you tomorrow, what is class? What is your answer? What is class, sir? Tell me, what is class? Class is a blueprint of an object. Yes or no, tell me. Class is a blueprint of an object. Otherwise, you can say it is a collection of variables and methods. That is known as what here? Class. And if anybody is telling to you, give me one example. Give one example, sir. Class, test, open, close bracket. This is known as what? Class. Class. That is called class. So tell me, do you understand what is class now? Class is a blueprint of an object. But now the question will come, sir, what is final class? If we declare any class as final, then creating child class is not possible. For example, for normal class, assume that this is class A, this is a normal class. Actually, we never say normal class, you can say default class. It's a default class. For default class, I can create child class. Class B extends A. This is how we can create the child class. Okay, for default class, we can create child class. But tell me, if I declare any class as final, then tell me, child creation possible? No, sir. So explain. When you are telling the points, give one example and proof. Sir, this is a class, this is a final class. For default class, we can create child class. For final class, we cannot create child class. Then we have a what class? Abstract class. So let me explain to you. If we declare any class as abstract, then creating object for that class, is not possible. See, I am going for default class. Tell me how to declare default class. Class A, it's a default class. Tell me how to declare final class. Final class A. How to declare abstract class? Abstract class A. So remember, for default class, we can create object. A is equal to new A. We can create object. For final class, I can create object. But tell me, for abstract class, can we create object? Is it possible? No, sir. So this object creation is not possible. This object creation is not possible. You need to explain to the interviewer. So if you don't need any object for any class, declare your class as abstract. So object creation not possible. If you don't need any child, declare that class as final. Nobody can create child. But if you need child and if you need object, so keep that class as a default class. Understood the difference? Okay, sir. This is one small point, sir. But now the question will come, sir, what is this singleton class? A class which allows us to create only one object. So give one real-time example, sir. What is a real-time example? Assume that I am working with JDBC, sir. JDBC is a part of advanced Java. You know very well. JDBC is a part of advanced Java. Do you know in advanced Java what happens, you know? There are, how many steps are there to develop JDBC application? 5, total 6 steps are there. Total how many steps are there to develop? 6 steps are there to develop JDBC application. First one, register JDBC driver with driver manager service. Many students I have seen, they are telling register driver manager service. register JDBC driver with driver manager service. Tell me, I already told you that if I am using JDBC, JDBC code cannot interact with database. Here we need to take the support of what? JDBC driver, and JDBC driver interact with database. So what you need to register now? You need to register JDBC driver only, na? So what is the first step? Register JDBC driver with driver manager service. Second one is establish the connection with database. Third one, create statement object. Fourth one, send and execute SQL query. See, once connection is ready, send and execute the query. Then gather the result, close all the connections. Understood now? Tell me, what is the first step? Register JDBC driver with driver manager service. Second one, establish the connection. One connection is ready, what will you do? Send and execute SQL query in database. Create statement object. Na? First create statement object, then send and execute SQL query in database. Fourth one, gather the result from database. Okay? Yes or no, tell me. After that, what we need to do? Close all JDBC connection objects. So please remember. So now what I was telling to you. So we required connection object. In JDBC we required connection object. Tell me tomorrow if I am developing a insert query, update query, delete query. Assume that I want to execute insert query, update query or delete query, or I want to perform CUD operation. Or if I want to do any CUD operation, so tell me to perform any operation, whether it is insert, update, delete. So definitely we required connection object or not? Connection object is required. Assume that I am writing one JDBC application for insert the record. So one connection object is required. I am writing one more JDBC application for update the record. So we required what here? Connection object. If I want to delete the record, I want to write another application. So there also we required connection object. Means for every JDBC application we required what? Connection object. Tomorrow if I am developing 10 JDBC applications, in every JDBC application we required connection object. So tell me, this is good process to create connection object in every JDBC application? No sir, that is the reason we will create singleton class. So with the help of singleton class, it will create only one object for our class. Understood my point here? So how many connection objects will be written? Only one. That will be provided to multiple JDBC application. So give one example sir when you are explaining sir. So just don't tell the definition, give with one example. If you want to impress somebody now, so definitely you need to tell the theory along with examples. Then only he will quite impress and he will give you the offer letter. Everyone understood now? So tell me, singleton class which allows us to create only one object. I already gave the code. Check, because time is not there. I cannot give every example to you people. Now comes to the what here? Object now. Tell me what is the object here? Object is nothing but it is a outcome of a blueprint. It is the outcome of a blueprint. I gave you already the example of class and object. Let me give you one more time today. See, you take an example of class and object, like I want to construct a building. To construct a building we require a design. The design is nothing but what here? Class. Even you can say template. Class is also known as what? Template. Design. And once if my building is ready, once my construction is ready, then that is known as what? Object. So that's why I am telling object is a outcome of a blueprint. An object is also known as instance of a class. Object is also known as instance of a class. The memory for our class is nothing but what? Our object. And when it comes to type of objects, You know very well we have two types of objects. One is immutable object, one we have mutable object. Tell me what is the difference between immutable and mutable? Remember, immutable object means after object creation, if we perform any changes, then for every change, new object will be created. For every change, new object, new object, new object. Our string is an immutable object. In interview, they will ask you, what is string? Some people are telling, sir, string is a collection of characters. Yes, it's a collection of characters which is enclosed in a double quotation. Even you can say one more definition, string is a immutable object. Even we have a mutable object also. Mutable object means after object creation, if we perform any changes, all the changes will be reflected in a same object only. Give one example, sir. What is the example I told? I gave you mutable object means string buffer, string builder. So you should prove to the interviewer where we need to use immutable and mutable. I think you remembered or not, I don't know. I told you about Zomato app. Otherwise, you can take Amazon application. Amazon. Once if I select items, once I did add to cart. Assume that I went to Zomato application and I like biryani, so I selected biryani. So I need to do add to cart. So once if I did add to cart, so there will be a quantity option will be there. One quantity, two quantity, how many quantities you want? So tell me, if I change the quantity, price is changing or not? So tell me, is it reflecting in the same object or new object? Same object, like that. You need to prove to the interviewer where we need to use this application, where we need to use this topic in the real time. So explain to the interviewer, array sir, if my content is changing frequently, then don't go to string. If my content is fixed, then we need to go for what? String. If my content is changing frequently, then we need to go for string buffer or string builder. Understood my point here, no? So tell me, if your content changing frequently, that time we need to go for what? Mutable object. If your content not changing frequently, it is having fixed content, then where we need to go? Immutable object. Understood my point here, no? And remember, similarly, when it comes to object, every object is having hash code also. Hash code means, you know very well, whenever we create any object, some students don't know how to create objects also. See this, test t is equal to new test, open close bracket. This is the way. Tell me tomorrow my class name is demo. How to create object? Demo, d is equal to new demo. Understood my point here, no? So please remember, whenever we create object, for every object, what will be created? Hash code will be created. So explain, sir, whenever we create object, one hash code will be created by JVM. And if you want to read that hash code, we need to use hash code method, and this method present in object class. An object class is a parent class for every Java program, for every Java class. Understood my point here, no? What an idea? So indirectly, sir, whenever we are writing a class, whenever we are declaring a class in Java, it means you are working with child class. Because who is the parent class? Object class is a parent class. And what object class is telling, what parent class is telling? If you want to know hash code, then take my hash code method, C capital. Understood my point here, no? So this is related to objects. So learn what is object, how many types of objects are there, and what is this hash code in object. So this is what we need to do the preparation, sir. Tell me, sir, I will ask one question to you. What is identifier? What is identifier? A name in Java is called identifier. Will you say one line only? Then after that, what name? Name means which name? It can be class name, variable name, method name. You need to explain like this. And give one program, write one class, write one method, write one variable and explain. So these are the identifiers are there in this program. So only telling theory is not enough. You need to explain with one example and you need to explain where we are using in the real time also. So tell me, now I will ask one more question to you. Tell me sir, how many import statements are there in Java? How many import statements are there in Java? 2 imports or 3 imports? So tell me, do you think that you don't know basic introduction of Java only? Do you think that will you crack the interview tomorrow? You don't know how many import statements are there. Tell me, how will you read input values in Java? How to read inputs in Java? Scanner na? How will you use scanner? Import you will write na? You don't know how many import statements are there. Huh? How many import statements are there? 3. What are those? First is what? Explicit class import, implicit class import, static import. You don't know that also. Every program you are writing import, but you don't know how many imports are there and wants to become a programmer tomorrow. So please remember, this shows your hard work, sir. You know, I will ask one more question to you. Let's see how many people will say. How many typecasting is there? What are those? Implicit typecasting, explicit typecasting. Very good. How many types of data structures in Java? 2 types of data structures. What are those? Primitive data structures and non-primitive data structure. What are the primitive data structures? Int, tell me, int, float, char, boolean. Yes or no? Tell me, what are those primitive data structure? Real, that is called what? Okay, integral, real, nothing but your boolean and char. And non-primitive data structure, what are those? What are those? Non-primitive data structure. Linear data structures and non-linear data structures. So tell me, they will ask this type of questions, how will you face the interview? I came to know some people don't know basics. So definitely, see, one thing is there, man. Nobody will give job if you are not good in quality, sir. If you are good in quality, then everyone will give job.